Remember the days when you would buy a game and you could expect reasonably that the ending would come packaged with it? You got the beginning and the middle, so of course you get the ending too, right? Anything else would be insane. Well, those innocent days are well behind us, friends. Dead Rising 4 came out this week and met with decent reviews, currently holding a Metacritic rating of 78 on PS4 based on 6 reviews at the time of recording.
But anyone thinking of buying the game needs to know one important thing. You want to see the game's ending? You got to pay. Dead Rising 4's regular game ends on a cliffhanger, and then it shafts you again by leaving the ending ambiguous.
Does it shaft you again? No. There's brackets.
Don't say shaft you again. There are multiple endings in the game, but only one of them is the true ending. And if you want to see it, you're going to need to buy the Frank Rising DLC. All you have to do is spend £15.99. This is f***ing bullshit. There's no two ways about it. Aren't games expensive enough? Like $60, £40, and then they're adding an extra like 50% or whatever for the season pass just to allow you to finish the game.
Squeeze the udder like a little bit more.
It really, really annoys me. Boycott this game. Do not buy it, and vote with your feet. Vote with your wallets. Do not buy this game. I'm trying to keep a lid on it, but this Capcom, this is a dick move. The lid is teetering, but this is a dick move. There's no two ways about it. Let's teach these greedy companies that this is not what we want from our gaming industry. This is not what we want from games. We want a complete game. We want to be treated with respect, and this is bullshit.
Okay, now I was a massive fan of the original Dead Rising. I still consider it quite a modern classic. It was quite an original idea. They had some really interesting things with the time limit and stuff. The time limit is not in Dead Rising 4, so that's like a series staple. This is part of the whole story. It's the ending is locked behind the DLC, but it's also the fact that this timer, which kind of forces you to, prioritize your objectives and stuff, that's out there as well. Yeah. You need to pay the season pass if you want that, which is bollocks, right? This is a huge red line for me, and I'm not even in a vote with your wallet kind of way. I just don't want it. I don't want to play a game and not have a satisfying ending, and I want the Dead Rising experience that I kind of got in the original, where you did have to think like crap, right? You have to plan your routes through the world to optimize the kind of time that you've got. And I loved that, and that was one of the biggest selling points of it. And it's not in the game because they've put it behind a paywall, and that's bollocks. I've already bought the game.
This is certainly not the first time Capcom have screwed over its fan base. Some of you may remember their now infamous practice of putting DLC on a disc and then locking it behind a paywall in Street Fighter X Tekken, which is broadly the same thing as what's happening here with Dead Rising 4.
If you want a good example of how this DLC and everything should be done, just look at CD Projekt Red. They give you tons of stuff for free, then they give you a massive expansion months after the games come out. You've got plenty of time to play and enjoy the game, which is its whole, it's a whole package in on itself. If you want more, then there's more on the way. That is how it should be done. That's a really good way of doing it, and that's how everyone should be doing it.
And I think we've made a point. Fuck you, Capcom.
Fuck you, Capcom. In other news this week, the PS4 has sold more than 50 million units around the globe. Sony's console smashed its way through the half-century mark with the help of Black Friday, which Sony said was the best ever sales week in PlayStation history. More than 369 million PS4 games have been sold as of December the 4th. And that big 50 million console figure is for actual console sales that have gone into the hands of consumers, so it's not just shipped out to stores.
Microsoft doesn't like to talk about Xbox One sales figures, largely down to Sony's massive lead. But the Xbox One S did help Microsoft shift some extra consoles in both the UK and the US. The PS4's impressive performance puts it on track to outdo even the PS2, which had sold 155 million consoles since it went on sale 15 years ago. The PS4 is now up to 50 million sales after just 3 years.
Next up, Square Enix have announced a big patch for Final Fantasy XV in an effort to fix the story. Yes, bug fixes and minor gameplay updates are pretty much a fact of life for gamers these days, but it's not too often a developer will try and patch its game's actual plot.
Final Fantasy XV got some positive reviews for sure, but came in for criticism for its rather weak storyline. Square Enix wants to address that by changing Chapter 13 to enrich certain aspects of the game and, importantly, add in new cutscenes to help clear up the plot.
Yeah, so I don't think I've ever heard of a story being patched up before. It's quite an unusual move, I've got to say. I don't know, have you ever heard of a story being patched up?
No, I haven't. I think the problem was that a lot of the story was in the movie or something.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like if you hadn't watched the movie, it didn't give you a reference for the game and people were getting lost with the story. So to fix that, they're throwing in this patch. I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah, kind of the right move, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a brave call, because if you've already played through the game and you've got an idea of how the story plays out, maybe it's a bit of like, oh, so I've missed some story elements, so I've got to go back. So.
It's not the case of them failing and then doing something right. It's a case of them understanding that they've made a mistake and fixing it, which is a good thing. We should praise that.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
well done.
In other Final Fantasy 15 news, the game was the series' second biggest ever launched in the UK, landing at number 2 in the charts behind FIFA 17, according to Chart Track. And also interesting is the fact that almost 4 in 5 physical copies of the game were sold on the PS4, with just 21% of all copies of the game sold on Xbox One.
Also in the news this week, last weekend saw the annual PlayStation Experience event, where Sony lifted the lid on a ton of new games. Among the biggest announcements were The Last of Us Part 2, a big piece of standalone Uncharted DLC, Crash Bandicoot Trilogy Remaster and a Wipeout Remaster. It was an impressive showing from Sony, to be fair. If you do want the full breakdown, head over to the video we did earlier this week. There's a link on your screens right now and in the description below.
And there's a lot of interesting Nintendo Switch news to get through this week. Firstly, it looks like the Dark Souls trilogy could be heading to the Switch after From Software got Dark Souls 3 running with promising performance, according to Let's Play Video Games. Also, it's emerged that a GameCube Virtual Console will be available on the Switch, meaning that games like Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion and Smash Bros. Melee could be available to play on the Switch.
And in the last bit of Nintendo news, it looks like the Switch will offer improved performance when it's plugged into the dock. The Switch dock will upgrade resolution from 720 to 1080p, and both the CPU and GPU will be upclocked.
Another way of looking at that, obviously, is that it's got less performance when it's out of the dock. So it's a very good spin on it.
Oh, it's so much better when you stick it. Yeah, so much better.
But it's good. Yeah, it's good that they're kind of, they're optimizing it for handheld and optimizing it again for when it's in the dock, which is good news. Last bit of news this week, it looks like The Last of Us Part 2 has bagged some serious writing talent. Hayley Gross, a writer from the HBO series Westworld, has joined as a co-writer on Naughty Dog's sequel to 2013's The Last of Us. Did you think Westworld was awesome?
Mainly.
Okay.
Mainly apart from the story at the end. So long
Apart
as she,
from the writing.
So long as she doesn't write the ending, I'm all for it.
We had a little bit split on it. I quite like the subtlety and a lot of the points in the story.
Yeah. We're not going to spoil it here. No spoilers, okay?
But it was good. Yeah. So
mainly
good news, mainly for The Last of Us.
So here's the Saturday show, which means it's that time of week to dip into the comments and let's have a look what you've been saying on our videos this week. First up, on the Last Guardian video, Jacob C comments, God, he butchered Ueda's name, lol.
Yeah, the joke was that you'd say it wrong again. You'd be like, Ueda's name, and just kind of look at the camera. Yeah. Acid Hoover comments on the Last of Us 2 video, we're never quoted though. Pretty Good Gaming stars Mike and Gareth have gone on record to officially denounce the PlayStation series juggernaut Uncharted. Mike Williams, Welsh power nerd with incredible taste, said of the Uncharted standalone DLC, but it's Uncharted, innit? It's gonna be shit. Before then condemning everyman Nathan Drake as an asshole. Gareth Evans, YouTuber, guitarist, teacher, gamer, then chimed in with, I got so bored halfway through Uncharted 4. It's just repetitive. That is a phenomenal comment, dude.
That is a quote.
Yeah.
Well done.
That is a phenomenal comment, yeah. Everyone else, just up your game.
On last week's Saturday show, The Typhoon365 comments, I doubt any gamer would side with Hello Games. Glad I found you guys. I'm very glad I subbed. You're like what the No is trying and failing to be. But the difference is, I don't hate you.
Which is always a plus. Next up, commenting on the Watch Dogs 2 video, as if Rahman says, why PC number is low? Use your brain, PC fartface. I know a dozen people who own a high-grade PC download the pirate version of the game.
PC fartface.
Well, you're a big, stupid poo-poo head. As for the piracy thing, it is a good point. It is, obviously it's a massive issue in PC gaming, but it was also an issue when the original came out. So you've got to assume that they're both hammered by piracy and then go from there.
How can you respond in such a reasonable manner to someone who just called you a PC fartface?
Because I don't want people going around thinking I'm a fartface.
Use your brain, PC fartface.
I'm not a fartface.
We don't like alienate our younger viewing audience. If you're 10, 11 years old, you know.
Which he very probably is.
You know, it's fine. Great. Thanks for the comment.
Yeah, thanks. Seriously, yeah. I'm Just a British Guy comments, what do you guys think about the Last of Us Part 2 trailer? Do you think the developers will ruin it or create another masterpiece?
Some people are saying that Joel and Ellie fight. They might end up fighting because it's about hate, or that's what's implied anyway. That they end up fighting. That would be a travesty. Don't do that. Don't make Joel and Ellie hate. Don't kill off Joel. Some people are saying that Joel's dead and Ellie's going to avenge him, and that's that internet theory, conspiracy theory going around. Don't kill Joel. Just don't kill Joel. Joel is one of the best protagonists I've ever played as. Do not kill Joel. Do not make Ellie and Joel fight. If they keep to them rules, I'm sure they'll be fine.
Thanks for watching the Pretty Good Saturday show again, guys. What caught your attention in gaming news this week? Let us know down in the comments. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time.